What up, though, Pride Nation? Welcome back to another Field Review podcast show where we talk all things Detroit Lions. I am too hyped for this. I had to go with my man MC8. I saw the comments pop up talking about my man MC8 right here. So, I figure I might as well start it off with a little bit of straight up menace. If you're not familiar with that, that's a little bit of that straight up menace, man. One of the classics that I think goes underrated way too often. Man, oh man, do we have a lot to talk about. Jesus. And I'm going to try to cram a lot into a short period of time. So let me get this out the way. First things first, we got 1991 Max Tag in the building. We got BD Buster in the building. We got God, Coffee, and Football in the building. We got First Black Man on the Net in the building. We also got my man Derrick Burns in the building. CJ, Looney Tunes, Jimbo G, that fan, man. One Pride 40, One Funky Lions fan, Izzy 777. As other people roll into it, we'll get into it and get it popping. Listen, what's on the docket for today? Let me just get this out the way. We got to talk about Okudah. I think it's some telling things in his little press conference that he had recently. We got to talk about that. We got to talk about a certain report on Lions Wire pertaining to some roster moves that I'm very intrigued by. We got to also talk about what our offense is going to be, as it has been reported by, or at least explained by Jared Goff. We got to talk about the Lions comp picks and a host of other things. But to start this show off, if you have not heard yet, Kerryon Johnson has a new team. Ironically, it's the damn Eagles. I wonder how much of that was Darius Slay. I wonder how much of that was just 100% Darius Slay or them over there just looking and being like, yo, we got it going on. So I'm just curious about that. JGB is in the building with us. We got Omar in the building with us. Cap Ice Cold, Jack Frost, Motor City Thanos, Hatter's House. Also, I was going to do it. That guy who said Sue what's up made another video. He's not only didn't double down, he tripled down on it. I can't today with him. I can't. But what I can do is talk about this thing. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. We play the Eagles, right? Like we play the Eagles, and I'm feeling a certain kind of way because it seems like every time somebody leave here, they go somewhere else and do well. And it makes me wonder, why could they not have succeeded here? Why could they not have had the success here that they had at other places? And it starts to get me into a point. It starts to get me to a point where I start to look at things a little bit different. Now, let me be clear. Because I'm a football fan first, I expect for the Lions to still smack the Eagles in the mouth. I expect for the Eagles to make Kerryon not be a factor. But the fact that he got picked up by the Eagles, over there with Slay, I wonder what is the conversations like and what is going to be said. So it's just intriguing to me from that standpoint. But the thing I really wanted to talk about was this press conference, because I think it needs to be discussed. I think it needs to be explored. This is a question that was asked to Jeff Okudah, and it's basically just a very simple question that I think we need to discuss. So let's listen to my man Okudah as he gets asked this question.
And then John had asked you sort of about Aaron Glenn and that relationship. Both those guys are known as really good teachers, I guess. And so I don't know, how optimistic, how excited are you to be with these guys that are known for, the work that they've done with young cornerbacks, especially. And you look at Jalen Ramsey and Marcus Lattimore and, a bunch of guys, Marshawn Lattimore, a bunch of guys that they've worked with in the past. What do you think that means for you two?
It means everything to me. I mean, just sitting down with them within the first couple of meetings, I was just picking up so much things that I thought to myself, it would just been nice to have these tools in my toolbox going in my rookie year.
Okay. Now, we all aware that our former head coach was never, and I do mean never, a rocket scientist, especially when it came to being a head coach. But for him to be somewhat of a defensive genius and to have your first pick, who you took 3rd overall, talk about how there are things that he's learning now that he wished that he had known in his rookie season, is one of the reasons why I'm just not ready to just say he's a bust. I still think he's a safety. Don't get me wrong. But this things is finna get changed. And the reason I'm starting off with this press conference is because it leads me to some other things that I happen to just notice, that I happen to see. And so I'm gonna talk about those things that I noticed. But his idea that he was not given certain tools to use in his repertoire is telling of what the last regime was like. You know, the Corey Underland hiring was a joke. It was a simple joke, and it shouldn't have been there. So, you know, as he goes in his presser and he's answering these questions, you have to start to wonder, damn, the rookie comes in and gets a bad thing. And to me, that's where you start to say, oh, were they lionized? Had we held on to Patricia a little bit longer, we had a different story. But he's already feeling confident about some changes and stuff. But I'm going to let him finish up because I do want to make sure that we hear what's going on, and I'm going to address what I hear out of it.
I'm still grateful to have him go into second year, and I think that it's only been 2 or 3 months, and we still have all this work to do. It just has me excited of how much more there is to learn and how much better there is to get leading up to the season.
What's one thing that they've told you that's opened your eyes just about the position, playing the position, something that, you know?
Maybe not necessarily playing the position, but just looking at the film and breaking down how the offense is trying to attack. And that's what I try to do every single day going into the game plan. So just,
you know, I got to stop it there because I find it irritating as hell that you didn't. Okay, it's 2 things that's wrong with this for me. One, he says that just teaching him how to break down the film on how they're going to be attacked is what he's learning now under the new defensive coordinator and new defensive backs coach. And so I'm thinking, one, obviously Patricia didn't help you in that department. Like, clearly he didn't. But 2, you're supposed to be a shutdown corner coming out of college. You never learned how to read film in college? Like I went through high school the entire time basically playing backyard football and got myself to school with that. But when I got to college, the first thing they taught me was how to read film. So part of this makes me wonder about the player a little bit. Like, what were you doing that you didn't decide to learn film until now? And I'm not saying that he never said it, but I'm just like, you didn't know how. Like I know NFL is different. I know y'all gonna try to defend it, but let's be honest. Just now, you just not figuring out how to, like, why now? Why? You should have knew this from the get-go, right? Like, there's some semblance in my opinion that don't make sense. JGB says, I'm one of those ones who wanted Patricia a 3rd year, and I'm glad because we wouldn't have the staff we do now. We got to give that the facts to that truth. That's the truth. If I mean, then again, if you wanted Robert Saleh, you probably could have got him earlier, but there's still no telling because we don't know what the cards would have played out in. I'm just saying that right now, as it stands, I'm curious why he's just not learning about this thing called film. Film is very important. And so a lot of the reasons why, even when I do film study, when I do film study, I spend a lot of time looking at it like I'm preparing for a game. So I'm looking for the weaknesses off rip. So a lot of times that, a lot of people don't realize it, but when you're watching film and you're trying to do it, and especially when it comes to me looking at my defensive players, I almost feel like I know where they're supposed to be because as I'm watching film, I can tell who's out of place. It sticks out like a sore thumb. But this guy is saying he's just now, understanding how to watch that film for how he's going to be attacked. And yes, kudos to them for finally showing them. But damn, man, I know I learned that in college. I'm 100% sure, Jimbo G, I learned that in college. That was the first thing I got. Is that now? Again, it says Lukegsfieldreview. He's talking about, in my opinion, how to make better reads on better evaluation of the tape. It could be that. I'm not knocking you. It could be that. But it's strange to me. Like there are some people who know how to watch film, but then there's some people who take film to a new level. I was fortunate to learn how to break film down from a Hall of Famer, and it helped me a lot. But injuries do other things. So, but I'm just saying. But I'm gonna let him keep talking because I want to kind of address this press conference.
So just having the tools that AP has put in my toolbox is like I'm seeing film from a whole different perspective. I'm seeing the game completely different. So that's one thing that has me really excited going into my second year. It just kind of has slowed down in that aspect.
And then last thing, did Aaron, you got any good stories from when you were with him for those couple of days at the opening of something he said or did or a connection you made?
The only thing I remember is we won the first 2 games. And then after that, it just went downhill. Lost 4, and then we were on our way home that quick. So I think that it was a fun weekend. I look forward to winning some more games with him. So
for sure. Great. Thank you.
We'll do 2 more, Ken Brown, then Tim.
Hey, sorry, Jeff. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, good. Last year you didn't have early workouts. There were no preseason games, and then you got hurt and didn't play a full season. Do you feel you got enough actual game reps now to go into the second year being like, I wouldn't say a veteran, but at least a sophomore coming in? Did you get enough time?
I think that what I try to do is just through the film study I've been doing, just kind of get those mental reps. That's something that I try to do just because I only played 9 games last year. But at the end of the day, I mean, I was in the building throughout the whole season, so that experience was still invaluable.
Now, this right here is where I fall in love with Okudah. No excuses made. He didn't use the excuse of not having the offseason. He didn't use the excuse of not having a preseason. He didn't use the excuse of only playing in 9 games. He said, at the end of the day, I was still in the building. And I needed to still basically get something from that. So I appreciate it. If your screen is showing blurry, for some reason YouTube is playing around with it because they're trying to bump their stuff up to where you can get a higher resolution than 1080p. You just go back and change the resolution on your phone or on the video itself, and it should change back to normal. On my end, it's showing clear. So just FYI. But I like that he didn't make no excuses. What up, though, Edward? You know, I like that he didn't make no excuses. I like that he took the ownership of his own crap. He understood what the deal was, and he understood that. Look, I was still in the building doing all that time I wasn't there, so you know, there's no reason for it. So I look at it and I say, look, we gotta keep it 100 when it comes to things like that. Now, the next question that he get, I thought was a fun one, but I thought it was intriguing. Let's get to it.
And something that, I mean, it's a lot of things going into year 2 that won't be new things for me. It'll be things I've already seen. And, you know, obviously whenever you can operate at a comfortable level, I think it bodes well for the future.
All right, we'll go to Tim. Last question.
Hey, Jeff, one thing that was brought up around draft time was kind of that Nigerian connection. I think you tweeted about it too. Just some of the young guys with Iffy and Levi and some of that kind of Nigerian connection. Just your thoughts on that and how that close-knit relationship you guys could potentially have there.
You know, I already reached out to Ife and as well as Levi, and I think that personally, since I've been playing football, I've never had this many Nigerians in particular on the same team. And I've been playing since 3rd grade. So it's kind of cool just to see that. I mean, I've always been like the only African kid, but just to see how years and years later, the game is starting to evolve, become more popular in Nigeria. And I hope that, you know, this group here can inspire more kids to, you know, give the sport a try. I know that in Africa, soccer is one of the more popular sports. So I hope that, you know, we can maybe motivate some kids in Africa to, you know, pick up a football and see the opportunities that it can provide them as well as their families.
I'm gonna tell you why I liked that last question, because it goes to something bigger, and I know that there's this film going around with people saying that you know historically Hawaiians don't do well in the NFL, no matter how stupid that is. That's the most retarded thing I ever heard. It's ridiculous, and it irritates me that people say these kind of things, and I don't like those kind of statements. But the reality is this: if you look at the way that the game is going and how it's being played, it's starting to get more worldwide. Soccer is huge in other countries, but when you can find a way for football to become the top one, that's another thing for you to look into and look forward to. My overall view with this press conference, which is only about 12 minutes long, and I only took about 8 minutes man, maybe 4 actually. Now that I think about it, it took about 4 minutes of it, and I wanted to talk about it because to me, he basically tossed the goddamn Patricia Quin thing under the bus. Like he straight just rolled them under the bus swiftly. Like, oh, I ain't learned nothing with them. And it just ain't the first time he did it. Before he talked about how it was a lot more dysfunction going on. So you look at that and you go, dang, how do we get this far? Now, keep in mind with me now. Keep in mind that I understand that everything is not going to be peaches and roses and sugar plums. I get it. I really do get it. But I also understand that there is something different to the way he's moving. He's a little bit more humble. He talks a little bit different, and he seems like he's ready to rock and roll and seems more prepared. One of the questions earlier to him was about what percentage is he? He said, I'm 100%. I can do everything now. You know, I'm healed up. I'm ready to roll. And this is exciting for me because at this point, we're going to need all hands on deck. And the reason I brought it up with this is because it just dawned on me last night that this team is real similar to the 1991 team. Now, y'all may say, Luke, you stay on the 1991 team. You know, why is this team so similar? You know, Luke, I don't know where you're going with this. I'm gonna walk you down a rabbit hole with me. So I'm sitting up there, right? Because I'm watching the old 1991 team games, and I'm excited about what I see, right? And I look at the record from the season before. Now, the record from the season before, I'm like, okay, 91, if y'all not sure, that's when we went 12-4. But the record before the season before was 6-10. So obviously we are 5-11, right? And so at this point, this is Wayne Fontes coming into, I want to say year 3 or 4 at this point. All right, now the team goes 12-4. And I just started looking at some of the telltale signs. So the first thing I looked at was who was playing. So the season started out with Rodney Peete. And when Rodney Peete went down, everybody went, oh, hell no, this ain't going to work. But Rodney Peete really wasn't doing much of nothing. You know, his offensive line wasn't giving him the kind of protection you would expect for him to have. He had like 5 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. But he ends up getting hurt 8 games into it. And then they start Eric Kramer. Now, stay with me. Eric Kramer literally was in the league and then left the league to go live life other places because nobody believed in him. And here comes Wayne Fontes taking this guy that nobody believes in and giving him another shot. Sounds familiar, doesn't it, right? Because Jared Goff is a guy that most people don't believe in. Most Lion fans have already written him off. They've already checked out on him. And they've already said that, hey, he's nobody that we believe in. So, yes, am I saying that Jared Goff is compared to Eric Kramer? I'm not saying that exactly, but the story seemed very intriguing. And then I started to look at it a little bit further because at this point, I got to make sense of all of this, right? So, obviously, we still got Barry Sanders. There's no doubts about it. But then they go out and they bring in Brashard Perryman. Now, this is where it gets more intriguing because we just brought in his son, right? They brought in Brett Perryman, but we brought in his son, Brashard Perryman. And so, when we brought him in, he was another receiver who was taken fairly high in the draft, what we consider high at that time in the draft. He was taken fairly high at that point. And again, he was dumped. He was dumped by the team. I mean, keep in mind, a second-round pick from New Orleans, played 3 seasons. They say, nope, you ain't it. He's out of here. And he comes to Detroit. And again, he's battled injuries. Nobody's believing in him. Nobody's buying into the hype of him. And he's out of here. And now it's the same thing as his son. But they didn't just stop there. It's funny how this all worked out. And I would love to show y'all that this thing is different. But it's just funny how this worked out. And then you talk about people like Mike Fair, another receiver, right? A guy who was said to be explosive, and the Lions had drafted him. I think it was like in the 8th round or something like that in 1990, and he's supposed to be like the speedy guy. But again, injuries were a problem, right? They were a problem for this guy, and here he is in his first season, being part of 12 games, played in 8 and got hurt, and everybody talked about how he had this speed, and it was like, oh, he got this speed. Well, damn it, the next year he's on the team, and that to me is Tyrell Williams. Now, stay with me. I know it seems a little long-winded, but I'm walking you down the thing. Then there's this move of Willie Green, right? Willie Green was the rookie. He was said to be the guy, the tough guy who can come in and play the slot. Now y'all see where I'm going with this? We go out and get a guy in Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? The guy who's supposed to be the slot, the guy who's supposed to come in and do certain things and be all in our be all. And the guy did provide something in the slot. He really did. He provided blocking. He provided good catching in the slot. But they were not done. That year in that draft, they drafted Herman Moore, who got very little playing time and didn't even break in. But again, it was a receiving core that consisted of Robert Clark, Mike Farr, Willie Green, and Brad Perryman. And here's the thing. Everybody wrote that receiving core off. They literally said that this receiving core was hot boo-boo. It's garbage. Nobody should care about this team. This is not going to get it done. They had no faith in Rodney Peete, and they certainly had no faith in the quarterback, Eric Kramer. They wrote them off. Then Mike Utley gets hurt, right? Now, when Mike Utley gets hurt, all right, when Mike Utley gets hurt, that propels the team to a new level because now they have something to play for. There's a reason to be better and to be doing it. But here's the more important part. The head coach, Wayne Fontes, was said to have, this was his hot seat time where he was supposed to, be on a hot seat and he wasn't going to do it. So now you look at people like Dan Campbell, who ain't supposed to be a head coach. Wayne Fontes, who took over, who wasn't supposed to be a head coach. People talked about the Lions for even making him a head coach. They like, hey, that guy went 2-3 as a fill-in guy, okay, for your Lions in '88, and you made him the head coach. And then he went 7-9. And they said, oh, that's just trash. And then he went 6-10. And now here comes his third year, and they're like, hey, he's on the hot seat. Nobody's believing in him. Same with Dan Campbell. He goes out, he gets other coaches that nobody believes in, and he built his staff. Now, I want y'all to understand something, that it's interesting to me to not only see that part of the game, but to see it in a way that you got to ask yourself some questions. Now, they had a host of different linemen that they had. They had already had they left tackle, obviously from Lomas Brown, right? But they went out and they added more offensive line help that year, right? They added some people in free agency to the team that brought them some help. They didn't just stop there, though, right? They didn't just stop there because now we got to talk about the defense. That year, they ran a 3-4. And right now, the rumors is we're going to run a base 3-4. And one of the big acquisitions that they made at that time, right? One of the big acquisitions that they made at that time came in the form of the third round. It was a 6'1", 330-pound nose tackle who was said to have been athletic as hell, right? These are the word they use. Out of SMU, Mr. Jerry Ball. This is what they said. So you already had him on the squad. He had been there since 1987. He has shown flashes and signs and stuff like this. But the adding of this guy was where people said, oh, this was a bad pick. I went back and found a bunch of articles. So everything I'm telling y'all can Google it and find it. They said this was a bad pick. This is hot garbage. This doesn't make sense. No, the Lions shouldn't have did this. Lions still was not satisfied, y'all. It's funny because we just took a D tackle who happened to be 6'1", about 300 and some pounds, from another small, pretty decent school, and is athletic as hell, and Emil McNeil. It doesn't mean anything, right? Okay. Now, we got to go and look at the other addition, because now we're talking about the linebackers. Okay? We're talking about the linebackers. And so they added a guy that was in 1990 named Tracy Hayworth. And they took him, and people, again, wrote it off. Oh, decent players should get him some hype, blah, blah, blah. Kudos, Birdman, all that good stuff, right? They go on, they do those things. And what I'm starting to notice is a lot of the trends are starting to repeat themselves. Underdog team that shouldn't have made it. projected to be one of the worst teams in the league. Quarterback was hot garbage. Everybody hated Rodney Peete. Everybody hated Stafford. The new quarterback comes in, Eric Kramer. People said season's over. People hate Jared Goff. Season's over. We're going to be picking first overall. Receiving core weren't worth a damn. It's probably one of the worst is what people said. Well, our receiving core now is currently being said one of the worst. But the thing that was consistent was there was a good running back named Barry Sanders there, and I'm not saying that DeAndre Swift is Barry Sanders, but damn it, he's a good running back. He's a good running back. And the Lions had built up their line before we got to this point because they had already drafted a Kevin Glover. They had already got a Lomas Brown. They had already took an Eric Anzalowski. I think I pronounced his name wrong. They had already took a guy in Mike Utley. They did all these things before getting to this point. And what I'm starting to notice is this. The biggest freaking thing that stood out to me was they even had worked up the nerve to add people to the cornerback position 2 years prior, and Ray Crockett, right? You had these things going for them. They had the safety help from 88 where they took the two safeties, one in the first and one in the fourth, where you had William White and Benny Blaze. And so now what you start to see is this team was starting to come into a fruition. But they were a team that was not supposed to win. They were a team that was never supposed to be good. And they went 12-4. And you know what's funny about that? You look at this year, and nobody believes in this team. The only thing they believe in is the front office. You listen to the fans talk to you. The average fan would tell you, Dan Campbell, I don't know what about him. But we need a receiver. Our receiving core suck. And I just look at history. And it's so important. It's just so important. Brandon Anderson says, bro, Willie Green was a 6'4" and was the one drafted in the 1990s. In the 8th round. Okay, so he drafted in 1990. He wasn't a slot. He was an outside receiver. I watched the game, bro. I went back and watched playoff games and I watched the season. I had nothing to do yesterday. I watched. He was all over. Most of his yards came from the slot. We also drafted Herman Moore that year. And Herman Moore had very limited playing time. The point I'm trying to make to you is when you go through and you look at what this team is doing, it's a lot of the same things. And it's a lot of the same stories. The only thing that's missing is the guy being hurt. That's it. That's the only thing that's missing. Knocking on wood that we don't have that part of it. But this team, the underdog team, the team that nobody believes in, the team that they're saying is going to have the first overall pick, is very damn similar. Nobody is going to tell me that the Lions of 91 had one of the top receiving cores. You're just not going to convince me. I looked it up. Nobody's going to tell me that the Lions of 91 had a stellar, killer, number one receiver that you just can't miss with him. Nobody's going to tell you that. They're just not. Robert Clark that year, 640 yards, 6 touchdowns on 47 catches. Mike Farr, 42 catches for 431 yards, 1 touchdown. Willie Green, 39 catches, 592 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Brett Perryman, the guy they wrote off, 52 catches, 668 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 rushing yards for 10 yards, and no touchdown. These were guys that nobody talked about. Nobody believed in. And I look at what is left over. The fact that we're going to, we talk about this offense, which is brought up by Jared Goff, and kind of takes me to my next point. He talks about us being a multiple. Let me make sure I get Jared Goff words right. I don't want to botch up Jared Goff words. Okay? I don't want to botch them up. Jared Goff say, we're going to run a multiple offense with spread principles. And it got me to thinking, what does that mean? Because the last time the Lions ran that run and shoot, spread the people out, stuff got done. But the options are there. It's not about having a top receiving core. It's not about having a top receiver. We've had top receivers. We got a Hall of Fame receiver in Calvin Johnson. We had a top receiver in Herman Moore down the years afterwards. That same team that went 12-4, it changed. Chris Watt says, what do you think of Jared Goff? Can he read defenses? I think he can. Does he get flustered at times when he got pressure in his face? Yep. So does every other quarterback. Go talk to Patrick Mahomes. Go talk to him. This team, y'all. This team is literally the spitting image of 91. A bunch of underdogs, people who didn't matter. Nobody cared. They wrote them off. And the only thing that was different was realistically somebody got hurt. Oh, and by the way, people liked the coach. They played for Wayne Fontes. That same team that went 12-4. Mind you, they went 12-4. And then after that, you know what they went? Because it's a damn shame that it even happened that way. You know what they went after going through all of that, fighting the bullshit, trying to get through it. They went from 12-4 to 5-11. Think about this for a moment. You went from a team who was rated 9th in points, 11th in points against, to 5-11. All because people didn't believe in you. That's all it was. Nobody believed in you, and you had a guy who got hurt. And then people wrote you off again. You had two guys get hurt. You got Pete Carroll, who's out for the season. Mike Utley injury was really the I think the catalyst that pushed it forward. But it's like, yo, they wrote them off before that, though. They wrote them off before that, and they came right back with it. Most of that team returned the next year and went 5-11. 5-11. Even after they added a guy in Kevin Pritchett, they went 5-11. And I'm telling y'all this because I'm telling y'all, I think many of us have missed the point when it comes to this team. And I'm saying this because I got a lot of messages from people talking about we still need a receiver, but we don't. We need guys who are doing what they're trying to do. We want to prove everybody wrong. People who gave up on them. That's what we need. God Coffee and Football says, so Luke, you telling us this might be our worst the first year? I do. I had us at 8 games, but the more I look at it, it's lining up. It's lining up, and it's lining up in such a way where the only thing that's missing is the injury, and I don't want that at all. But I can tell you this much. If you just go and look at the team in 91, that team, look at that team in 91, and they got 12-4. They went all the way to the NFC Championship game. They had destroyed the Dallas Cowboy team 38-6. Now, Dallas obviously went on to do bigger things, but that butt whooping set Dallas up in a certain way. My point I'm trying to make to you is that was not the team nobody looked at and said should have went that far. That wasn't it. They played defense, and that's where it brings me to this point of the offense being a spread defense, a multiple defense with spread principles. They're going to open this thing up. You're going to get all type of levels. You're going to see T.J. Hockenson out in the slot with Amon-Ra St. Brown. You're going to see a lot more 5-man receiver sets because you got 5 linemen that can do things different. You're going to see a whole lot of 3 receivers, 1 tight end sets where you're talking about guys coming underneath and on every level. And then you're going to see a lot of teams coming up. The offense, in my opinion, is going to be nice because the teams are going to have to come up. If you don't, we're going to run the ball down your throat and all through you all day long. Right? This is what we're going to see. And then after that, it's going to be up to the defense to hold up to their part. But I'm going to tell you why I believe that they will. Because they like the coach. They like the coach. We do things for people we like and love. We don't have a problem going out on a limb for people we like and love. Everything about this season has been different. Hasn't been the same old thing. And I looked at that 91 team and I said, yo, we about to run the ball. We about to light people up over the top. It's going to be some names on some days where you're going to be like, bruh, Tyrell Williams, we're going to have to re-sign him. I guarantee you I'm going to hear these talks. It's going to be some names y'all going to want brought back. And the Lions are sitting there telling you, don't believe in us. Be the underdog. Look at that 91 team and tell me how they did what they did in that era of football. You want to tell me that era of football was easier? I'm going to cuss you out. It was harder. It was more challenging. The rules were so different. And they did all that with a guy named Eric Kramer. Rodney P for the first 8 games sucked. Eric Kramer for the last 8 games sucked. They won by running the ball and playing defense. And then Eric Kramer was basically told, don't lose us the game. He had a few good games here and there. '91 Crimson Shadow. That was our playoff year. That year they took Herman Moore in the draft, if I'm not mistaken. I'm telling you that this team is different. But the accountability already starts. When you listen to people talk about what they had and didn't have in Okuda, you start to see it. When you listen to the vote of confidence. I remember I was talking to SpeakEZ. Shout out to my homie. We were talking about the Lions and the possibility of taking a quarterback. And I told him that there's no chance of the Lions, 0% chance of them taking a quarterback. You know, I gave him all these reasons. I told him, one of the reasons I told him, I said, it's because they did that restructure. He said, oh, the restructure had nothing to do with them. It had something to do with the rookies. And I said, well, the money for the rookies already put to the side. That's always put to the side. You know, they're not going to have those moments. They've been doing this for too long to have those moments. And he says to me, no, that was more about getting those rookies. And I said, okay. An article comes out and say that, yep, they gave him a restructure to give him a vote of confidence. Right? And I'm thinking to myself, damn, who really believe in the Lions? We are projected to be the first overall pick in next year's draft. Everybody feel like we have failed because we didn't get a better prospect at quarterback, which I find funny because a lot of people was talking about taking Tyrod Taylor and Fitzpatrick, and now they're talking about taking a rookie, and I'm thinking, taking a rookie this year to do what? Like, to do what? Like, you got a guy who's been there, and it just doesn't make sense. Chris Watts, do you think Rodgers is going to play for the Packers? Yes, he's not going nowhere. It's a $37 to $38 million cap hit. If he's going anywhere, it's retirement. He ain't going nowhere. It's not happening. The point I'm trying to make is this. This very particular team is set up to do the impossible. And it's not just them as an example. You got a host of other teams who went from worst to first. You just do. But what does it mean that we're going to have a multiple offense with spread principle? It really means that you're going to see you're going to get a lot of screens, a lot of swing passes, a lot of draws. You're going to get a lot of like 4 and 5 receiver sets. Most of the teams in our division ain't got 4 or 5 damn cornerbacks. It's finna be some fun going on, people. The matchup nightmares is about to be real. And when you look at it, when you look at this team, the biggest improvement is they like the coach. They like the coach. I have too many examples to show people. That proves a point. And some of them is dark and some of them is not. But I'm aware of people's trauma, so I don't want to bring up too many things. Blessed Stuff says, how many wins? I got them at 8. I think we beat Denver. Since we know Denver is going to more likely be that 17th game. But I think we beat Denver. I think we split in the division. So that's 3 plus Denver's 4. I think we beat the Bengals, 5. Beat the Falcons, 6. Beat the Eagles, 7. I think we beat Cleveland. And even though everybody went, oh, you crazy, it's the reason why I think they're going to make that game earlier. They're not going to make that a game later in the season because they just don't. I don't know why every time we play Cleveland, it's either in preseason or it's an earlier game. I have no reason why they do this. And if there is a logical explanation for it, please tell me because my ass don't know. But I think we beat Cleveland. And the reason I think we beat Cleveland is I'll tell you that when it get close to the game. But the biggest reason is you neutralize they pass rush and shut they run down and things get real. Like that's just not me making it up. But that goes 7 wins right there. And then I just simply go through and I say, okay, we still got to play San Francisco and Arizona. We beaten one of them, if not both. So I go 8. And for some reason, every year, there's a team that we should beat, but we lose to, like the Panthers and the Texans. And there are teams that we should not be beaten, like the Patriots that one time. And we do. So it happens every time. But I got 8 wins, and it could be more. And I think with an 8-8 record, the Bears got into the playoff with that same thing. I just see it. I'm just showing y'all where I'm looking at this and I'm saying, yo, this is nuts to me. Now, Jimbo G says, I think we go 5-1 or 6-0 in the division. I don't know if I go that far, but I ain't mad at you if you believe that. What I do know is with a multiple front offense brings balance. With balance brings this. And I just look at what Anthony Lynn did, and I'm telling you, this is about to be fun. The defense going to hold up to their part because I think we will have improved play. But since we on the defense, let's get into this other topic. According to Lions Wire, Amani Oruwariye is going to be pushed off the roster because the Lions drafted a Fitu. And I laughed because I don't believe that they took him to take Amani Oruwariye's spot. But let's say, for example, they did. Right? Hypothetically, they did. I would be shocked. I really would. Because Amani has already had the experience to try out and do it. And you got Okudah. And so now, if I am to believe that Corn Elder is going to be the slot corner, I think that they're going to use Afitu as like that third safety or extra corner themselves. I just don't see how now all of a sudden you get people who can get pressure up the middle as well as people on the outside getting pressure. And now you're just going to tell Amani, yeah, you done. We're going to put the rookie in. I don't see it. And it got me to thinking, like, should Amani be worried? Hell no. He shouldn't be worried. He shouldn't be concerned because I don't see it happening. Now, don't get me wrong. I've been wrong before. Here's looking at you, Nico Collins and the Houston Texans. Here's looking at you, Dead Man Walking and Jeff Okudah. I've been wrong before. Here's looking at you, Kerryon Johnson, right? I am not the NRBR answer to this. I am just a fan like you, but I have a very unhealthy addiction to this. And I spend way too much time digging, trying to find patterns. But stay with me for a second. And while you with me, hit that like button too. Appreciate that. Why should Amani be worried? If he should be worried. Why should he be worried? He can play the slot. He's an athletic player. And the reality is if your starting cornerback is going to be Malafalawawu, I know I botched it. Y'all, I tried. Damn it, I tried. If it's going to be him and Okudah, I'm telling you, we in trouble. And I'm telling you, if you're going to go in that route, you better definitely go find me a damn safety because this ain't going to work. Because I see things in them that's great, but I also see things in them that's worse. The biggest obstacle to the Lions' success this season is going to be the defense, and I think they will perform. But I think what you're going to see is because of how they're going to do it, you're going to see those 4-2 damn it, my fucking brain going to a brain fart. You're going to see the 4-2-5s, and you're going to see those formations. And now this is where Afitu comes into play, and Amani still has his role. We don't have enough corners to be talking about people getting cut. Now, I'm not saying Lions Wires is crazy. I'm just saying I'm having a hard time seeing this man losing his job and being off the roster because we drafted a cornerback. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't add up in a way when you already are limited in that position and you are still bringing people in to try to fill that spot. Carry on posted what? Carry on posted on IG. Luke G, Gabe Bed, Juju. Oh, damn. If he said that, I'm sorry, KJ. My bad. But I'm just saying, Gold Lion says, I like Amani, but if he doesn't meet the 3 qualities, he will be gone. Grit, love, football, and high character. I believe he has. He has them. He ain't got no off-field issues. He ain't got no problems. I'm just saying. I just, not a Lion fan, but Kuda will be most improved player on the team. He really, it's not hard to be that it's not hard. Chris Channel says, bro, Amani is easily our best cornerback and our number 1, and we're running a 3-4. What brain dead moron would cut him? I don't get the logic behind it, but if they did, they better have a damn good safety. Now, Guy Coffee in Football says, I think if he plays free safety, I think he is going to be like an extra safety with the ability to play in the slot. That's what I'm thinking, but I've been wrong. I truly believe we can shock some people next season. I do too. Because when they drop that schedule, I'm going to give you my true, honest belief on how, because the schedule does make a difference. If you got me traveling for a month, then a month at home, and that could be trash and back and forth. But the reality is I'm just looking at it and I'm saying, why? Why? This is according to Lions Wire. Why? And I don't understand the logic behind it. Hamden says Amani is a starting cornerback. Cutting him will undo some of what we did this offseason. Not according to Lions Wire. According to them, he in trouble. I don't see how. I just don't see how. I've been wrong before. We win in the Rams game. Yeah, it's very possible, depending on how they set it up and what's going on. If the Rams game is earlier in the year or maybe in the mid-year, yeah, I'm probably with you. But if it's in that back end, like around that Thanksgiving time, I'm a little worried. Let me see. Alicia Dan Randall says, what's good? Just dropping in. Appreciate it. If he is a corner who can play safety or a safety who has played corner. It is. But this article said, he says, is Carlo a member of Lions Wire? Not that I know of. It said that Amani Oruwariye could be pushed off the roster because the Lions drafted Afitu. How? Like, have y'all looked at our depth chart? Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. Have y'all looked at the Detroit Lions depth chart? Who in the hell is pushing him anywhere? Like, I mean, and I was thinking like maybe they talking about in like another year. No. They were talking about this year. And I just said to myself, well, all right, I guess we doing this. I'm like, I guess we doing this. But when I go through and I look at the depth chart, they even got, like on ESPN, they got Quentin Dunbar at the starting corner. Oh, really? I'm gonna be pissed if that happened. They talk about that in the article, that Quentin Dunbar in the V2 makes Amani expendable. I don't understand how. Like, seriously. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cornerbacks. Who going where? Quentin Dunbar, Jeff Okudah, Afitu Melifonwu, whatever his name is, Amani Oruwariye, Mike Ford, Corey Elder, and Jerry Jacobs. Who going any damn where at the cornerback position? For real. Maybe Jerry Jacobs. They are not going to just cut Amani and be like, yeah, we going to roll. Think about it from this standpoint. Dunbar's on a 1-year deal, right? I believe Mike Ford's on a 1-year deal. Corey Elder's on a 1-year deal. Why are we going to cut a dude in Amani for people on 1-year deals? I'm having a hard time figuring it out. Dunbar, Okudah, Amani, Elder, and Mike Ford is a good squad. Well, according to this article, Amani doesn't make the team. That's what they're saying. No, according to the ESPN, the starters is Dunbar and Okudah. But the Lions haven't even released, because I went to their official website, they haven't released their depth chart. So I think there's a little bit of projection going on with ESPN. Our lads have it as Amani and Okudah. But again, that's projection. Like I said, it's interesting to me. Now let's talk about the Lions comp picks. So according to NFL.com, the Lions are due to get 3 comp picks. And the comp picks are for Jamal Agnew, Kenny Galladay, and Marvin Jones. I'm like, did we forget about Jared Davis? Like, did I miss something? You're not going to convince me that we upgraded, like, for real. Like, but they're saying 3, so I'm going to go with theirs. And the 3 picks they're saying is going to be 3, 5, and 6. So how we only get 3, though? Because we lost Jamal, we lost Jared Davis, we lost Kenny, Marvin. Did we cut Matt Prater, or was his contract just up? I think his contract was just up. So if his contract was just up, we lost Prater. So yeah, we should get like 4 or 5 freaking, but that's another story. I had to catch myself. I finna rant a little bit. That's another story. I don't understand how, but if we do get those 3 picks, then the trade that they made to end up getting Derrick Burns and Amon-Ra is just even more brilliant. Oh my God. Listen, I gotta go to this really quick. He says on Philly's 500 channel, they over there hype on Carry-On. Depends on how you're looking at it. Lucky Belafonte says, thoughts on safety Nick Pickett, undrafted free agent signed today. If he improves in the following 3 areas, I think he can make the team. Area 1. It doesn't look like he always knows what the hell going on. And so for me, he has to show that he understands what's going on in the scheme of things. The other thing that he needs to work on, in my opinion, is his reaction to what he see going on. If you watch highlights, he looked like the shit. But I don't watch highlights over here. I watch film. And so when I went through and I looked at it, I wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed. There was some reckless abandonment on his part because of who was playing safety with him. But I just wasn't impressed. You know, I just wasn't. So, do I think he makes the team? I don't know. I saw a guy who looked lost at times. I saw a guy who took some bad angles. And I saw a guy who sometimes chose the wrong tackling technique. And what I mean by that is sometimes it's not about trying to knock a person out. It just simply means get them down. Do I think he makes it? I don't know. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Southwest Alliance says, yeah, we should get at least 4 picks. I don't know. They said 3. You know, I don't know. JGB said he's a thumper. Like I said, I saw a dude who looked lost a lot of the time. Dude needs to get their rest, which will help up their awareness and communication. I don't know what they need to do, but when I watched him, I really did look and I said, okay. I said, let me see what we got. And I was probably, I finished like maybe 1 game or 2, and he never jumped off the screen to me. He had a few hits, but it was like reckless abandonment, right? Like, oh, I got Jovan Holland back there, so I'm gonna try to knock this one out. And a lot of times they do that. I think that's cool. I think that's cool. But I saw a guy who, in all honesty, he looked lost. He just looked lost to me. The next thing I did was I said, well, let me go and see what his stats look like, because I'm trying to put the puzzle together. And you know, I wanted to give him a fair shake, right? And I go, oh, okay, 2 interceptions. And I'm like, yeah, but I see why he don't get as many interceptions, because he didn't look like he know what was going on. And 39 total tackles. And to me, it just came off as mad. Now, even though he only played 6 games last season, he just did not jump off the screen to me. I wish I could say he did, but I don't know if he's gonna make the team. Not with the way they cutting people left and right, they not playing. So, it is what it is. Also, FYI, I put it on a community post. I put it on Twitter. I put it on just about any damn thing I can find. Detroit Lions great. Says Luke got them Skip Bayless eyes. Oh, Jesus. Why I gotta be Skip Bayless, bro? He did look lost. I'm not making this up. I'm just saying, man. But I'm just that's a funny one. I put this on every damn thing I can find. Herman Moore and Lomas Brown has a YouTube channel called Breaking Bread with Herman and Lomas. And if you go and look at my community post, you will find it. I have yet to link it to the channel, but I am. And they talking good stuff. They just had an interview with Jeremy Reisman and them from over there from Prowl, Detroit. So that just dropped about 50-something minutes ago. And that was entertaining. But yeah, I just want y'all to, to get them some love, subscribe, and like, and let show some pride over there. But yeah, if you want me to be honest about the player, I'm telling you, my man was lost, bro. I can literally, let me see if I can show you. Hold on. I'll give you a perfect example. Hopefully they don't take, they don't kick me off. But I'll try to give you a perfect example. All right, hold on. Now, again, keep in mind, if you just watch highlights, you're going to be like, oh, my man's is fire. Like, I promise you. But if you watch a couple different clips, you're going to see what I'm talking about. So hold on. Let me see if they let me do this, man. God, I hope they don't shut me down. I really hope they don't shut me down. Y'all know I get nervous anytime I got to try to show. They be quick. YouTube hate me. They shut my shit down quick. Like, oh, you trying to show stuff? So I'm trying to get to one particular play. Let me see if I can find it. Is this it? No, let me see. Hold on. Maybe this is it. I'm trying my best, y'all. It's just not giving me what I'm looking for. Let me see. Are they not gonna show? Okay, this ain't gonna work. I'm gonna have to just make the damn video. That way I can avoid not getting shut down. I already got an email. They on some bullshit. I'm not gonna play with them. I'm not gonna play with them. Anyway, I'll make a video. I'll show you what I'm looking at, and then y'all can see it for yourself. I hadn't even put it on the screen, bro. I haven't even put it on the screen. It says 4-second clips, Luke. Don't go past 5. That's when YouTube gets you. Yeah, I'm trying to. Oh, so that's probably why I just got that email, because I'm not even showing it on the screen, and I'm trying to queue it up, and they already sent me an email. So I'm not going to play with them. This is crazy. No, we're talking about not Adams Jr. We're talking about Nick Pickett, the safety we picked up from Oregon. Joel L said, listen, YouTube is tripping, bro. Jimbo G says Herman and Lomas got a nice channel. Dolo sent me a message over there on that channel. Yeah, I mean, once I found the channel, I posted it everywhere. I want to try to get them subs up, man. You're gonna get inside sources with them. This, you know what I'm saying? So I want to show some love with them. Just to kind of show you their channel. See, maybe if I don't play no video, we ain't gonna have no problem. Maybe if I don't, you know what I'm saying? I just don't want no problems. I don't want nobody to, be sending me no damn emails. I'm not gonna play no videos. I don't want no issues. But all right, I can show you like this. So, wait a minute, why the hell this thing ain't showing? All right, so basically, the channel, in my opinion, is very new. When I first joined the channel, it was at 159 subs. It's at 300 something right now. And my hope is that it gets bigger, because like I said, you're going to get inside information that they're going to be privy to that my ass is not. And so you don't have to worry about any speculations, because at that point, we just talking, about having another source to look at what's popping. So, but let me just show y'all the channel, because I really want to support them. All right, here's the channel. People, y'all gotta check it out. It's Breaking Bread with Harmon and Lomas. It's at 52? So 552. And I'm telling you, man, they was just talking about the draft and what it meant. And I started seeing little things, and that's what got me to thinking about that 91 team, what they was talking about. This interview, only watched a few minutes of it, but again, look at this. There's not enough views, right? This one got 1.5. This one got 2K. We got to get these up. This was just funny. But this right here, we got to get these up, man. You're having conversations like this, and you want to show support, and so that's what I want us to do. I want us to be supportive as one pride. Now, it is Friday, ladies and gentlemen. I do got a lot of things to do. I hate to be that person, so I'm gonna get into my final thoughts after I let you guys give me whatever question you have. But please go and subscribe to my man Breaking Bread with Herman and Lomas. We got 2 Lions greats trying to get in on this YouTube thing, and I want to make sure we get them some love. That's all I'm saying. All right. Eagle sign Johnson. Yeah, I know. He asked the question, why not keep Johnson for the 3rd running back? That 7th round dude, he good. The 7th round dude, okay. I mean, he okay. I just like the fact that we had a third down blocking back. And I guess some other guys gonna have to step up and learn how to do it. It just is what it is, unfortunately. But again, this is y'all time, man. Any questions y'all have, toss them in there. I'll take them. Did Kerryon bring his knee brace with him to Philly? Kerryon ain't the first person to wear a knee brace playing running back. Ricky Williams had one. A lot of people had them. Jimbo G says, check your emails. Check my emails. Okay. What am I supposed to be finding in there? I guess that's the question. What am I supposed to find in there? Tell me what I'm looking for in there. But you said check it, so I'm gonna look for it. I put it this way. Oh, you want me to listen to it? I got you. Oh, bro, I know what that is. I know who that song is all day. I ain't just hip hop, bro. I listen to a little bit of everything. Hey, I'm just saying. All right. Any other questions? Let me see, man. Because like I said, I'm finna go. I gotta get myself up out of here. Okay, here we go. How's Flowers and Okora be used in the Lions' new defense being a 3-4? Okora is going to, I think the Okora brothers are going to be the stand-up outside rushing linebackers. I think Deuce stay at the DN spot where he's going over the left tackle. And then you got Michael Brockers going to the other DN spot, and then they'll put Emil or Levi at the nose tackle. So I think that's what you will see in that regard. But again, make no mistake about it. They're going to roll with that right now, and I think they're better suited for it. Do you think we might be able to pick up a safety at the preseason games in team cuts? 100% we will, because at that point, you're going to dump a lot of people who didn't make the team, and so is other teams, and now there are some people that you didn't want. Like, there's a linebacker who went undrafted, and it blew my mind because I thought he was really good. Milo Eifert out of Illinois. He went undrafted, but he signed with the Jets immediately after he went undrafted. I think he's a good talent. So yeah, it's gonna be all kind of talent for you to fix that damn problem. Who is our strong safety? I pray it's not Will Harris. You better pray some more, Mr. Marcus. I think they're gonna give that man a shot. You better pray some more. They're gonna give him a shot, and they're gonna make him battle it out with Marlowe. That's my prediction. But I think you might want to do some more praying. I'm gonna join you on that because it cannot be Will Harris. Now, part of me want to feel like, okay, maybe Will Harris was just sucking because of Patricia, and I hope that's the case. So if he is the starter, I hope he's like the Benny Blaze that we didn't have, because I'm with you on hoping he's not. But I think you're going to do a little bit more praying. Kerryon lost a step, injury prone, lazy, and never put the grind in. I disagree with that. I really do disagree with that. The idea of him losing a step, he's always been hurt. He's always played through injury. This ain't the first time he's been hurt. So is he injury prone? Hell yes, he stayed hurt. He was hurt all through college, which is why I didn't understand why they took him in the second round. That's another argument for another day. But he certainly put in the work. Just because you don't see the people out there doing it don't mean nothing. Which brings me to another point. Y'all hear the BS that's going on right now. They are literally telling people, if you go and work out outside of the facility and get hurt, the teams don't got to pay you no more. And then we got fans tripping about people not coming to voluntary workouts. Why would I come to a voluntary workout when they're treating that like it's not even mandatory? And if I get hurt trying to work out at home or something like that, y'all can void my contract. That's bull. That's 100% garbage. I'm not with it. So look, I think he puts in the work, but at the end of the day, injuries caught up to him, and he happened to come to the Lions with a head coach who was an idiot. Lucky Belafonte says Lions receiving core has fast guys that can get separation and catch deep passes. What's the problem? I don't know what the problem is. The purpose of those deep guys is to take the top off when everybody come up, and everybody will come up because we're going to run the ball. We're going to throw the ball short. We're going to do all those things you've seen Tom Brady do the deke and dunk out of his life, and we're going to do that. And then when they come up, we dot them up over the top. That's the vision I see happening. Amani is on a rookie deal. He got 2 years left, shaking my head, which is why I don't understand why Lions Wire would say that he's going to be pushed out. They would be stupid to do that. It would just be stupid to do such a thing like that. You think Barnes is going to start? Hell yes. Yes. Trust and believe. You traded up for him. He's a guy who can play all three linebacker positions. Hell, if you in a 3-4, you can put him as an outside rusher, inside rusher, put him at DN. He is going to perform. So yes, I think he starts. I think he's definitely going to start because I don't think they're too high on Jelani Tavai. Just saying. I think Julian Okoye got a shot this year. He was a 3rd-round pick, bro. I do too, and I think he will be there. Let me see. What do you think about Derrick Burns? He's a monster. I was happy as hell. Everybody wanted Mike Parsons, right? If you go through and you look at Parsons may be a little bit taller than him. Parsons may even be a little bit heavier. Parsons could be even faster than him. But Parsons can't cover. Parsons can rush the quarterback. He can rush the quarterback. Parsons can take on blockers. He take on blockers. But you don't see Parsons at no damn DN. Parsons can play all the linebacker spots. He can too. So you got your version of it. I'm not shocked. Oregon running back remind me of some of the backs from the Eagles that were successful. Okay. I missed it. Did they put out the full training schedule? They did. So let's see. The 8th through the 10th is the rookie part of it, and then like that week after that is where they report for like the little OTAs, and I think the OTAs and then like the 25th. So it's something like that. I can't remember what it was, but they did put it out. You got to Google it. I'm sorry. Dylan Moss did too. He went undrafted out of Alabama because he was hurt, and you know it is what it is. I seen that guy YouTube channel, and I watched film too. See, he get manhandled. He never did. He was manhandled. That guy is completely clueless. Yeah, that dude. He tripled down on it. he tripled down on it. Let me see what else we got. Should we call Dallas for Vander Esch? No. The reason you don't need to do that is because if he's going to make it, he's going to make it. And if he's not, then he's not. And you get him in free agency. No need to expand or use any type of draft capital for that. You'll get a shot at him as a free agent. Oh, yeah, they said that guy said that Amon-Ra St. Brown isn't physical. Okay. Go back to one of my videos with the draft people on them, and you're going to see me showing him escort somebody off the field. But, okay. Carry-on saved Lions money to spend in free agency. $1.37 million is what we saved. He was going to cost us $1.7 million to be on the roster. So I highly doubt that's a significant amount of money. Will Harris better not make the team. He got years on his contract. He gonna make it. Marcus still praying. I'm with you. Let me see. Trying to hit on as many of these as possible. Let me see. He bench pressed 225 19 times and is strong as hell. Okay. It's just listen. Everybody, that's why he has a YouTube channel to do what he wants. People support it, they support it. We didn't draft Marvin Jones, so we don't get a comp pick for him. No, I don't think the formula has anything to do with if we drafted him. Do it? Because I thought if they had been here for a certain amount of time and they were significant in our playing time, it's like this weird formula. I know it's on over the cap, but I don't think it's just that. The problem is Lion fans want a big name in the receiving corps. I don't know why. The last team that did something didn't have no big name in the receiving corps. You didn't hear Herman Moore's name getting called like that in that 91 team. Denver about to not pay $10 million to their right tackle because of an Achilles injury. That's a bunch of bull. It's like you want him to work out on his own, but then he get hurt, and now you don't got to pay him. That's ludicrous. Yeah, I think that's dumb too, Tokyo. Trading for Julio would be a mistake. Barnes is a beast. Regarding Pickett, he's not as flashy as the other teammates in the secondary. Big plays were few and far between, but he is highly consistent with above average intelligence for the position. And that's my problem. I just happened the first game. It's always I randomly pick games, y'all. I don't even like try to be like look and see what it is. I randomly pick a game the first time because I want my initial reaction to be just that. And if I don't like what I see, I would then go and look and see what was considered his best game, and I would look at it. And then I would go and look at what is his worst game, and I would find the medium between those three films that I watched. And I just saw a guy who looked like he was lost at times and took some liberties that I don't think was supposed to be in his game. I just don't. So I just don't see it. But if he makes it, who is there? Who is your favorite undrafted free agent? I don't have one, especially at the receiver spot. Especially if you talk about the Lions, it's going to be the one who catch the damn ball, to be honest with you. Because I believe receivers are easy to find. It's up to the receiver to take their game to the next level. And if they don't, then it's like, what's the point? Man, Luke, you need to try and get that moron that is trashing us for talking to Sue on the channel so you can destroy him with logic and facts. It's like talking to a brick wall. If a person is dug in, they dug in. It is what it is. My man Tom Grassi in the building. Salute to you, sir. He says we needed at least 6 other quarterbacks. I'm gonna get you on here 100%. Do you think Detroit should have drafted an actual Lion to help? Wow, I'm picking up what you putting down there, Tom. You know what? I think they did draft the actual Lion. I think your Packers are going to see what Mr. Derrick Burns is, and I think he's your actual Lion. I think you're gonna get used to that name very often. And while I think that A-Rod is definitely gonna play for y'all because I don't see how y'all can cut him or trade him or anything with that cap hit they looking at. I think you're gonna see that actual Lion. I appreciate you for dipping in here and chatting it with me, man. 100%. He said we gonna need me. Tom Gracias. It's crazy, man. That dude hilarious. Let me see. Jonathan Abrams. Read a stat on golf today that over the past 49 games, he's thrown 47 interceptions and 29 fumbles. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but so my attitude to it is this. There are a lot of times you got to ask yourself, why is he fumbling so much? Is the protection out there? Is he just not taking care of the ball? With the interceptions, how many of those are tips? How many of those are 100% blatant throws by him? I got a video about him coming up real soon. I think you'll be surprised. UDGA, like the running backs. Undrafted free agents, my bad. Like at running back. For the Lions, none. I mean, I think there's some good ones out there, but for the Lions, I really didn't want to invest more than we already had at the running back position. What is Melifonwo's best fit? Safety, in my opinion. That's what I would do. Could be wrong. That the reason why the fans want receivers is because this franchise spoiled them with receivers going back as far as the run and shoot days. That's a fact. We keep a receiver from Johnny Morton to Herman Moore. This fan base love receivers. I don't understand it. SpeakEZ believed that if Trey Lance was there, even with Sewell, that the Lions was going to take Trey Lance. I know we want what we want, but we got to be for real about this stuff. A-Rod about to retire. A-Rod ain't going nowhere. You think he's going to leave $38 million on the table? I think not. I think not. $38 million? Yeah, I think not. That's a lot of money. I think it's more than that. He's not leaving that on the table. I do plan on Monday to talk more about the NFC North because there's some things going on in the NFC North that I think the Lions fan base should be aware of. Let me see. I'll make sure I miss nobody's question. One funky Lion fan says he's not taking care of the ball. And a lot of his picks because he can't read the defense and throw to a spot. Okay, well, we're going to find that out soon enough. this Lions team has kind of a replacement feel to it going in as the big time underdog. Yeah, I mean, nobody buys into what they're doing. They don't care, and they think it's a joke. The more of the offseason advances, the more I think we're going to have more success than what I previously thought. I just don't see how we don't. They like the coach. The people are happy. There's nothing better than to get production than happy people. If you go to some of the top companies like Quicken Loans is a top company because they spoil the crap out of their employees, and their employees work at least 120 hours every 2 weeks. But they in there with every game system, every PS5, everything to chill during breaks. They get cereal bars and all kind of stuff. And you just look at the happiness that most people come in with there, and that's why they have a high retention rate. Take that same mantra and that same view and put it off onto the Detroit Lions. If they like who's there and they care about what's going on, you're going to get more performance. How many Super Bowls did we win with receivers? Not one. But everybody wants the receiver. What is the possibility of Campbell winning Coach of the Year? Oh, that's a good question. I'm gonna tell you what it is. If he gets this team to go to the playoffs, he wins. He can very well win Coach of the Year. Easily. All he gotta do is get to the playoffs. And I'm not talking about like he backdoored in as a 7 seed or a 6 seed. I'm talking about like he actually was in the mix, like number 2 in the division or won a division and got it. Yeah, he'll be getting Coach of the Year because you're talking about turning something around that's so significant. I agree with you, Jimbo G. He ain't retiring or going no damn where. Agree to safety on that. Yeah, I just feel like that's where he should be at. If it was me, Record Boy can be the 4th running back. You talking about Rakeem? Why you say you talking about Rakeem? The last chance you do. He's a State Farm rep. He's made. Luke, do you think we keep both of our first round picks in next year's draft? Depends on who's available and where we're picking at. If we're, so if we're picking in the top 15 and we need a certain player, no, we'll trade up. If we are picking in the top 10, no, we keep both our first. But if we're somewhere in the 20s and we got 2 firsts, no, they're keeping those picks. They're not trading up unless it's a player that just blows them away. Who would you be? Who would be our starting linebackers running in the 3-4? Outside linebackers would be Romeo and Julian Okoye. Inside linebackers would be Derrick Burns and Collins. That's the linebacker core right there. Let me see. What else am I missing? Excellent response, Luke. While all the media hate on the Lions, are they really going to finish worse than last year? The league and sports writers hate the Lions. It's not hate. It's just that when you look at this team and you look at other teams and you say all these other teams are so much more talented, that's the thing they're looking at. They're saying that all these other teams are so much more talented. The reality is this. The last team that they said that about in 1991 won 12 games and got the division and went to the NFC Championship game. It's not about talent. It's about coaching and their willingness to show people that they can do it. It is more so about proving it to themselves that they can do it. So I think what you're seeing is they feel like the Lions have the least talented team, and that's why they have us with the first overall pick, because in their eyes, we have the least talented team. They don't see the fact that we got an offensive line that can help. We got 2 running backs that can get her done. We got a tight end that can help. We got a slot receiver that's going to be special. They don't see the defense potential of having those Julian Okoye brothers basically battle each other on who can get to the quarterback first, because dinner time is going to be real interesting when you're in competition with your family members and friends. And then they don't see that the linebacking core has already been improved with simply just putting Barnes at the inside with Collins, and you got a D line that has versatility. They don't see that. They see a roster that they feel is depleted, and therefore they say we're going to be the worst team. You can buy into that hype if you want to. I would suggest you not subscribe. The subscription ain't worth the money any damn way. If you like the head coach and the coaching staff and they're helping you be better, you might get them for a little bit less. That's a good point. 107 touchdowns, 18,171 yards, 63% completion percentage, 91.5 career quarterback rating. He talking about the quarterback that they said turn over the ball a lot. Watch Campbell make it to the NFC Championship next season. If that happens, he's definitely coach of the year. Luke, you hear that the Bears put Tevin Jenkins on the left side? Yep. Yeah, listen, you need a tackle. So guess what's going to happen? Tevin Jenkins is gonna get battle tested because he's gonna play the Vikings twice. He's got to play us twice. He got to play the Packers twice, and we got pass rushers now. So when you got pass rushers and you're going against that, he's going to get a real swift. If I was them, I would put him to the right and spare some of that trouble. But they feel like, look, we need somebody to block the blind side. I hate to say this, but I wouldn't be trying to block the blind side of Andy Dalton. Good luck, dude. Like, I'm sorry, but you had opportunities. So, yeah, I think that's going to be the case. I don't think we're going to worry about referees causing too many games. I think we'll win it straight out. Can the Lions make the playoff this year? I think it's very possible, especially when you have half the league getting into the damn playoffs. 7 from the NFC North. 7 from the NFC, 7 from the AFC. One team get a bye week, the other ones play it off. It's very possible. The Bears did it. So, yes, I can see that happening. Every time Jamal Williams talks is entertaining. I never knew he was this freaking entertaining. He's entertaining as hell. I didn't see the interview, but I'm gonna go find it now. Do you think Cornwell, D-tackle injury, will make the team? The Ohio State guy we drafted? Nope. I think he's done. Aaron Rodgers beef with the Green Bay because when they brought him to State Farm, he wasn't told that everyone gets the Aaron Rodgers discount. Most interceptions Goff thrown in the season was 16, followed by 13, 12, and 7. Hamden is basically doing my job for me because I think there's a misconception with this. And it's funny that what people look at, but I get it. I think a lot of what you've seen over there in the Rams is because McVay. I really don't think y'all giving enough hell to McVay for what's happened over there. Aaron Rodgers ain't getting the Rodgers rate. Let me see. I'm trying to see what else we got. Trying to make sure I ain't missing nothing. Carry-on got picked up by the Eagles. Yeah, I saw. I wonder how much of that was a phone call from Slay, like, bro, we got to get this one. I'm telling you, KJ a different beast. Or how much of that is the coaching staff looking and saying he can block and do all these different things. So, and we play the Eagles, which I expect for us to beat. Tell me a great vet safety that could fit. Kenny Vaccaro, because he's going to be unselfish in playing the strong safety spot, and he brings a little bit of understanding of what they're going to expect from him any damn way. So Kenny Vaccaro to me would be the veteran safety that I think would fit the best. Look, what am I saying in this chat? I say the same thing every day sometimes. Lions have so much potential, plus the draft capital we're going to have over the next couple of years. Things are looking up for Detroit. 100%. 100%. It's no other way about it. I appreciate your opinion and insight, bro. I appreciate you for showing your support and trusting in me. 100%. Luke, are we going one gap, 3-4, or 2 gap? So that's the thing. He just said it's a base 3-4, but I've seen Levi play 1 and 2 gaps. So I'm trying to figure out. I'm really intrigued with this one because they talk about supposed to be a multiple front. That seems to be the word of the NFL with new coaches. I honestly don't know, bro. I don't. I know they say it's a base 3-4, so I honestly don't know. Winston threw 30 interceptions in a season. Listen, nobody's talking about that, but he's perfectly fine over there in New Orleans. And the reason nobody's talking about it is because who their head coach is. That's the truth. I hope Matt goes nut over there and have an MVP season. I do too, so people can get off his back. But no matter what he do, it's going to be an excuse from the haters. What you think about Fields? I personally think he's going to be another Trubisky, but you never know. I personally think he is going to be another Trubisky. The history of Ohio State quarterbacks is not good. And the fact that they are trying to get things done, it's one thing, but it's another thing when you're doing it with guys who are literally on the hot seat. And if things don't go well, they're going to get fired. So a new coach is going to come in and have to ask himself, do I want to latch my wagon to this damn pick? Now, chances is he probably going to have to because they took him. They traded up to get him. But it is what it is. Never really seen an elite high school. No, you're not going to see it. How we go from maybe worst team to maybe playoff team in 3 months? Because I'll give you a list of reasons. One, you have an organization with a front office that is now likable. And so you're getting players based off of that alone. Two, people like the head coach and the coaching staff, right? Like they really do enjoy it. They think this is a really good coaching staff and they like the head coach. Three, they're playing the underdog card. Nobody thinks we're going to do anything, which gives you more reason to come and shake somebody in the mouth. So off rip. Four, the Lions' history has had an underdog go from worst to first. You talk about 1991 team, they went from worst to first, and it happens. The Rams went from worst to first. It's been a host of team who has done this, and they do this all in a short period of time. Another reason is you now have a complete offensive line with the question mark at guard, but I don't think you're going to have too many concerns with Big V at guard. I think he's better suited there because he's just not athletic enough to get out there at the tackle position. But as a guard, I think he'll be perfectly fine. And so now with an improved offensive line, I can see us doing a little bit more different. Another reason you got to look at is this. The defense that they're going to run, which they're saying is going to be a base 3-4, actually now have depth for pass rushers. You're going to have the core brothers on the outside. You're going to have Collins on the inside with Burns, and Burns can get after the quarterback. And now you got more athletic D linemen who you can rotate in and out from either D end or the D tackle spot and get production. There's a lot of reasons to see why we can go from worst to first. I heard Goff and McVay broke up because McVay's girlfriend cheated on him with Goff. I have no clue if that's true. I don't. Jeopardy NFL for 500. The talented diva quarterback has only won one Super Bowl for his team from the Frozen Thunder in Lambeau Field. Who is A-Rod? Yep. All the excuse they give that man is ridiculous. Dan coming with a mixed defense to confuse the other teams. He's allowing his coaches to coach. He's managing the game. The coaches, the coordinators is going to call their own game plan. He's not going to micromanage them like how Patricia did. Mitchell Trubisky will be another Mitchell Trubisky. Book it. Fields is Carson Wentz. The defense about to look like Patricia's scheme, just energetic and with more of cover 2 zone instead of single man high. I can see that too. And I can also see where you're just going to have people who are actually happy and smiling. They're doing stuff like they added a sound system in there with music, It's like they doing all these little cool things to get people relaxed and comfortable to want to play. Dorsey has already done it with Kansas City. He took a 4-win team and turned them into a perennial playoff team. This is a good point. Very good point. Patricia defense was so vanilla. It looked like preseason football. That's a compliment because I don't think you giving him too much damn credit. Preseason football looked better than what I saw. Burns and Levy would be Lewis and Saragusa or Haloti, Sapp and Brooks. Okay. If you have to rank the NFC North, you do. Where are you placing the Lions? As of right now, I'm placing the Lions at number 2 behind the Vikings, with the Packers being 3. I don't think you can have this much conflict over there in Green Bay. Like, dude talking about firing people. And I don't know. The Bears, to me, just didn't do enough, to help their defense out, in my opinion. And Matt Nagy has shown me that he sometimes gets ahead of himself in his thought process. So I put us at 2. The D-line roster looks like a 4-3 base for the most part, Luke. Why else would you add so many in the offseason, not so much at linebacker? We don't have depth for the 4-3. If you go through and you look at our DNs, tell me who are the backup. Once you go to the DNs and you go Romeo Okwara and Trey Flowers, who's their backups? You like Julian Okwara as a hand in the dirt DN? You like Charles Harris as a hit in the dirt DN? What about Austin Bryant? Maybe you like Joel Heath, because them is your backup DNs as it stands. Now, if you're telling me that we're going to have Michael Brockers be the interior defensive tackle along with, say, Levi, or say McNeil's the other guy, right? So now Levi's the other DN? Okay. Then who? Because John Pennicini ain't playing DN. Deshaun Hen, I think it's gone. Nick Williams, I think it's gone. Jason Cornell, I think it's gone. John Atkins, I think it's gone. So I don't think it's enough depth there for that. But if you go through and you look at the number of linebackers, it's set up for a 3-4. If you look at the number of D linemen right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 D tackles right now. Linebackers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 linebackers. And other linebackers that they have, I don't see them saying goodbye to many of them. I just don't see it. So, but I prefer the 4-3, but I think it's going to be a 3-4. And according to what Dan Campbell said, it's a 3-4. Luke, so what are the flaws you saw in Fields' game? He don't have many flaws, to be honest with you. The biggest flaw that I saw in his game was his response to when everything is going wrong. When everything is going wrong, I didn't see a guy who wielded himself out of that to say, I got to do this and do that and be better. I saw a guy who looked panicked and at times looked like he was frustrated and it just wasn't clicking. So I looked at certain games where he didn't have the perfect storm going. When the perfect storm is going, he makes all the best decisions. But when the perfect storm is not there, like most quarterbacks, they fold. And so to me, in the NFL, you got to have an ability to rise above the bullshit. It just is what it is. Have you noticed the national media becoming more and more positive towards the Lions? They seem to be off the back of the draft room footage. Just maybe the winds of change are blowing our way. I think it's very possible, and I think it's going to be even more possible when we start winning. I know he will allow them to coach. They're going to be doing the same thing. They will be coming with a lot of blitz packages. Well, we didn't do a lot of blitzing last year, so that's going to be nice. They needed to add air hockey. I wouldn't be surprised if it's already there. They still behind Bears and the Vikings. Okay. If they third, they still can make the playoff at the third team. So I'm not even going to argue with you in the mix. Still waiting on you to come on the show, though. All right. Let me answer this last one right here. Do you think we got a top 5 O-line now, bro? If so, will Goff be good? I can't say it's a top 05 line until they take some snaps together. The offensive line, what makes them great is when they play together because they understand each other's strengths and weaknesses. So on paper, yeah, they got a top 5 offensive line. But until I see them take a snap together, I can't say that. Is the line going to be very much improved? 100%. But top 5 right now, they haven't played together. They haven't. They're going to give up on Big V, or they're going to play him over Crosby. They're going to play him over Crosby. He's going to be your guard. Same for me, Luke, on Justin Fields. Only problem when he got to go through read 3 passes. Yeah, it's just I don't see it. The minute stuff ain't going right, it gets bad. The T3 Scott says Eagles got carry on. Yep, we talked about that early on at the top of the show. Please go back and rewatch the beginning. Han will make it probably if he can stay healthy. That's the problem. If he can stay healthy. And they already released a bunch of unhealthy ass people, including carry on. So that gives me more proof that Han is in trouble. He's not better than Watson, Murray, or Lamar, and I think Lamar is overrated. Okay. Oh, damn, you're gonna get some people pissed off with that one. Fields panics too quickly. I seen that. Will Bashard be a good receiver? Yes, because he's not asked to be the man. He's asked to catch passes in spots. Everything else is going to be underneath passes and running. So, yes, I think he will be. All right, people. That's it, man. Y'all came with some fire questions today. I was hyped with that one. Let me go ahead and, like I said, get in my positive quotes for today because I want to make sure that, we do it the right way. Can't end the show without it being positive, good people. First thing I want to shout out, all of the people who came and rock with me, all the people who hit the like button, the subscribe button, notification bell. Please tell a friend and to add it on. I'm trying to get to 3,000 before the season starts. So let's see if we can get us to that goal. But in honor of the Mental Health Awareness Month, I wanted to give you something that's different because, see, there's something that I don't think most of us think. Most of us, if not all of us, have some form of a mental disorder, whether it's diagnosed or undiagnosed. But today's positive quote comes from the internet. It says, give yourself permission to unplug and regroup without feeling guilty. I'm gonna run it right back because it's gonna get a little bit more in deep into it. Give yourself permission to unplug and regroup without feeling guilty. You can't be there for others if you don't take care of yourself first. You know, I talk about this all the time, where there's this thing where you ride on an airplane and they tell you if you have small children, please secure your mask first and then that of your small children. And the reason for that is because, one, most of those small children don't know what to do in this panic situation. Two, they can't help themselves. And three, you're no good to nobody if you're out of the fight. And we need somebody to tell us what's going on in case of those emergencies. And what I find is this: self-care is important, right? Some of us are dealing with a lot of things in our head. We're dealing with lost loved ones, loss of a job, loss of a house, whatever the case may be. We're dealing with a lot of different things. Some of us are there, and making that place comfortable is hard. So having a day of self-awareness to go out and pamper yourself, whether it be to buy video games or to go have a spa day, or maybe it's just doing something as simple as coming on here and talking a little Lions football. You'll be surprised who has a mental disorder. You'll be surprised who's going through something and how well they are able to mask it while others are not. I want you to know that you're not alone, okay? And any help that you have received, but you don't feel is adequate, I implore you to go and find better help. Don't just settle for the first person who's willing to hear your thoughts because they're the first person willing to hear your thoughts. You have to give yourself permission to unplug. You have to give yourself time to regroup. And you got to do that without guilt. If you can find just a little bit of energy in you to simply go get the help that you need, as far as I'm concerned, you're winning the first battle of any mental health disorder. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. As always, I say it once, I'll say it again, and I'll say it twice. Don't be no chump, please. Please do your research. I am out. I'll be back at it again on Monday.